Oye, chico,
Dime, chico.
¿tú crees que podemos nadar hasta Miami?
Depende.
Depende de qué.
¿De qué tan lejos esté?
¿De qué?
¿De qué?
¿De qué tan lejos esté? ¿De qué? ¿De qué tan lejos esté? ¡Azúcar! Depende de qué.
¿De qué tan lejos esté?
¿De qué?
¡Azúcar! aplauso.
Muy bien. Los huevos cubanos, if you haven't seen it on YouTube, you're missing out. Or you're living under a rock. One of the two. Welcome back, familia. Andres Fernandez and Mr. Rico Pablo Peña Garcia.
Here in the house.
Here in the house. We are now releasing episode 205. Thank you all for your continued loyalty. Social or party? We just came back from the reactivation and launch of the Miami Salsa Events.com Miami Latin rooftop pool party at the Mayfair Sip Lounge in Coconut Grove. Beautiful venue. And so we wanted to go ahead and talk about it. And an idea that we came across together was the difference between a social and a party. Right? And I think that at least for a dancer is definitely something that's very insightful. Guys, MiamiSalsaCruise.com, February 22nd to 28th. 7 days, 6 nights, live salsa music every night. Mr. Rico and myself, we will be there. We want to have a dance with you. We want to meet you in person.
Cha-cha-cha, mambo, casino, salsa.
The bands there are absolutely amazing. We're going to be going to Ocho Rios, Jamaica. We're going to be going to Grand Cayman and Cozumel, Mexico. Once again, live salsa music every single night. And if you are a Salsa Kings member, your event ticket is waived. So if you are local, get some training in and sign up for your membership so you can go ahead and reserve your cabin at no additional charge. But jumping right into it, 205. Pablo, so that was the first time you've been to Mike's pool party.
Yes, first time ever, and it was probably I told him, it was one of the best parties I've been to in a while.
Bro, nobody listens to me, bro. Nobody, you know what I'm saying?
Andres is on Sunday like, yo, guys, let's all go to the party. It's going to be awesome. And
No. I specifically said.
Okay, what did you say? Tell everybody what you
said that this is my favorite outdoor event, other than Baila Miami, of course. This is my favorite outdoor event because of the vibe of the pool, because the bar, because obviously Mike, his music, the way that he brings in entertainers, which of course we'll talk about.
Mike is beautiful. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
But the point is that I had said that this was my favorite outdoor event. My favorite. There's only one favorite.
That's true. That's very true. There's only one favorite.
I pass it back to you.
So, so as my beautiful friend Andres said, he said it was his favorite outdoor pool party.
Or favorite outdoor event.
Favorite outdoor event.
Favorite outdoor salsa event.
Yes. So we went to the well, he said first that, and then out of the 12 people that were here in the studio, we're gonna go after to the party. I think only me, Erica, and Andres went.
Right. We had a small turnout, and we still turned that thing up.
We turned it up. Eso fue party. So
party. Notice the word he's using.
Party.
Go on.
Even though there was a small turnout, it didn't stop us from creating the party, because the party is not when the party starts, is when we get there, right?
Yeah. Right. So right. So I guess ultimately, to kind of give an overall view, is there's contributions that I guess you could say the hosts can make, and then of course there's contributions that the guests can make.
Right.
What do you? I guess when we're talking about a social versus a party, what would a social more look like?
I feel like they're both so centered on the music. Music is what brings everyone together, but the way is executed, the music.
Good word.
Is something that is completely different. I feel like a social would be something that is just more like someone could be in charge of the music, but it's more like just music, song after song after song. Nothing is edited. It's more like you put a Spotify on and you just maybe create a playlist, if anything, and then you just keep playing the music.
Or at least that would qualify as a social.
That would qualify as a social. That would be the very minimum. Of course, you can get creative with a DJ or like an assigned person in music. Entertainers we'll talk more about. And then a party has more to do with having a DJ mixing and I guess being creative. It's kind of like an art. I think DJing at the end of the day is kind of like an art.
Oh, absolutely.
So basically representing themselves through music, not just slapping a song on or ordering the song a specific way. It's more like creating their own music. Might it be through songs already made or through new music they made? But at the end of the day, is I think the main difference is that the music is considered an art and is created on the based on the person who's in charge of the music instead of just putting a playlist on or just a series of songs that are unedited.
Right. I agree. And I think a lot of it has to do with also the interaction and the engagement that the DJ or the person who's in charge of music has with the crowd.
Yes.
Right. So a social, again, a social, for the word being social, is an opportunity for people to get together. And to be honest with you, it doesn't really take a lot to have a good excuse to have people to come together. Food, music, a birthday,
Dancing.
Whatever that is. However, I believe a party is almost like a notch up. It requires a little bit more effort because naturally a party, when you say a party, this is high energy, right? There is a sense of excitement behind the party.
Right.
And versus, again, I'm going to go to the social. There's people that are going to be there. Versus, again, it goes beyond meeting the people, perhaps at a party. It's more of, I'm going to go and have a good time. It goes beyond the connection of just the people. It goes with the connection of the music. It goes with the good times. Beyond the people, because of course you can have a wonderful time just meeting new people and dancing and listening to your favorite track.
I have a question for you now.
Okay, sure.
Do you feel like socials are generally free and then parties are generally paid? I was gonna say more like the contrast between professional and just being good.
The sound of the cartoon of the sound of a character blinking, blink 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 blink. It's like that's what just played in my head right now.
Nice.
I think that's actually a really good, or at least it should be.
It should be like that.
I feel like that it represents the notch up, I guess you could say, right?
Right.
A social, you shouldn't have to charge for a social because it's not, you don't need to have a lot for it to be a social. And I think it being free, people kind of understand that there isn't necessarily a lot being offered other than the community coming together, which is valuable in itself and worth it for people to come. Don't get me wrong. However, a party, again, this requires a little bit more energy. This requires a little bit more resources.
Intention.
A little bit more social plus intention equals party.
Something that I was also gonna say is that
because parties, sorry to cut you off, sometimes have a theme. Right? They have like, people that should be dressing up a certain kind of way or a certain kind of color and those types of details, I think, merit a charge. That's actually a really good question. I wasn't expecting to speak about monies, and nor was it in my mind, but I think that's at least a good representation of what we're speaking about as far as for the level up energetically and intentionally is concerned.
I got one for you. Any get-together is considered a social, but for a social to be considered a party, you need to, I guess, I don't know what would be the wordage for this, but be intentional, like have the resources ready for that. Porque, let's see, like, and here about resources, this can be considered, what is the location? Are you just doing it in a regular dance studio, or are you going to a beautiful rooftop in Coconut Grove and Coral Gables? Like,
Right.
Do you have live performers of any type?
Which was the case at Mike's pool party, right? He had, somebody playing on the drums, and he had someone playing on the congas that were animators at the same time, and which was wonderful. Go ahead.
Yes. By the way, they were beautiful. So I guess it would be in terms of location, and this is specifically for salsa dancing or music in general. Live performers, I would say the type of music that's being played. Is the DJ interacting with the crowd? Is he, I guess, taking inspiration from the crowd?
That's a good one.
Taking inspiration from the crowd?
Like if the dance floor is more empty, are they changing it?
Right.
You know, or vice versa. Are they keeping it alive? You know, are they kind of keeping the energy and keeping the party going? The party meaning the vibe.
Right.
The party is the vibe versus the time and place, if that makes sense, I think.
Right. And I guess I said like people performing like in terms of like music animators, but it can also be people like standing up on a stage and directing everyone to do reparto, like Adriela and Malena, shout out to them. They're beautiful, amazing dancers. Do you have anything else? I feel like those are the three main.
I think because and again, I appreciate how you zoom in. For me, I think intention kind of wraps it up.
Okay.
It's this kind of man. You're not supposed to use this word in the definition of the word, but the intention, the wanting to make sure that everyone has a good time, the going above and beyond, the dare I say it, offerings. There are offerings at a party. There is a live DJ. There is free food. There is because okay, let's take it like this. Let's go outside of the salsa scene because we're using word like social because that's what's popular in the scene. But technically, a Getty, right? You know, just people hanging out at somebody's house. Technically, that's a social, right? That you just coming to hang out at the house. That's a social. We're gonna be social together for the sake of the word. But then there's a party at my house. Okay, that's not the same as a social or a get together.
It's not.
Right? So a social would be almost like a get together. If we were to say a salsa social, then it would be people getting together with salsa music playing. Right? But I think those kind of words, those dynamics, and using them appropriately, I think it can be very enlightening for both those that host socials and parties and those that
go to them.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, to kind of have an expectation of sorts. There's in theory, there shouldn't be a whack party. In theory,
right.
unless the host is, you could tell that they're kind of cutting it short when it comes to the offerings of their party. Come to my party, I'm going to charge you, but for the sake of everyone having a good time, for the sake of the energy that's being. Again, I think also the word party is more of an intangible.
Yes.
It's not a location. It's not, a people. It's a vibe that everyone kind of reaches because of the host and or the people that are contributing to that energy in a kind of mutual agreement that everyone wants to do that together. Everyone wants to party together, I believe.
I want to challenge everyone who's listening to this right now to, when they go out the next time, they go out to, I don't know, any social or any party that you go out to a night here in Miami, might be Vivo or it might be the Rooftop on Sundays or any other number of parties. I challenge you to figure out if you feel like you're in a social or in a party, because this is very much about feeling.
100%.
It's not, you're not going to be able to be like, we have this, and this, so 1 + 2 + 3 = 4. No, it's feeling. You got to stand there and feel it. Is this a party or is this a social?
Right. So, and to be fair, another way that I've heard, at least if we were to use the vocabulary of what we're talking about right now, a social I've heard marketed as a practice party. As in a time where students, if you would come together to practice.
Right.
So again, you don't need much other than open space and some music, and that's good enough. And that, because it's serving the purpose for what we're going for. It's not that necessarily one is better than another. It's more so what is being offered, and the clarity in that, again, for hosts to be able to kind of dial down on what is it that they're offering? Because if it's just a social, and to paint it just as a social, something relaxed, something BYOB, bring your own music, bring your own food, potluck style type of whatever. This is just a social. I'm just providing a space and putting some music on in the background, and whatever people want to do from there. Thank you. And whatever people want to do from there is completely up to them. Now, a party, on the other hand, this is like, come, I'm going to host you, I'm going to take care of you, and with perhaps a string of surprises that I have, hora loca, stuff like that. And it doesn't have to be that grand or extreme, right?
Exactly, right.
It could just be some awesome food, and that's tremenda fiesta.
Una fiesta. Música y comida.
Eso es lo máximo. So for sure, I think that's great, man. I think that hits it on the head. What was wonderful about the pool party this past Sunday was, aside from I guess you could say the animators or the musical performers, they themselves danced. Of course, Mike does a wonderful job interacting with his crowd and having them feel like he really wants to be there. And I've known Mike for over a decade now, and it's never, if anything, his love for it and his passion for it has only grown, which has been wonderful. Shout out to my fellow Ecuadorian, Mike Calderon. I appreciate you. And so that's always really, really nice. And of course, that's that energy for us as attendees, as we do as Salsa Kings. If you haven't, listened to Wagon Pullers versus Wagon Riders that I did with Mr. Rico over here, we always want to make sure that we're contributing, right? We're always adding, right? We're always leaving things, as Salsa Kings, leaving things better than how we found them, right? That because we were there, not just we Salsa Kings, myself individually, Paulo individually, the other leaders, the other students, etc. That always leaving things better than how they found them. That because of his felt contributions, it's much easier to match that versus trying to, of course, create it from nothing.
Right.
So I think that's totally awesome. So for sure. So be wary of, not wary of that, but be
aware.
Be aware of that difference and kind of know what you're going into, because a lot of people, I think, kind of judge social sometimes.
Yes, and they're like, oh my God, this is not as fun as that other thing. But it's a completely different purpose.
Correct. You can't compare, apples and oranges, right? They're two completely different things with two different intentions. And one specifically in the salsa scene, the bachata scene, social dance scene overall, a social itself, there is a good place for that, simply because at the end of the day, we're all trying to find an excuse to practice.
Right.
We're all trying to find an excuse to dance with that one person that we haven't danced with yet, or to try that new move that we just learned in class. Yes. So just that alone, having the open space, especially here in Miami, open space is expensive and it's hard to find, right? That has a cost for those of you that don't know that. There's rent to pay. So being able to contribute to that at the very minimum, just with your presence, with your social media posts and tagging the venue or the host, etc. All of those things help. So please continue to do so. As again, those are all examples of being wagon pullers versus wagon riders, and kind of just taking advantage and grabbing everything that's free and saying thank you. I'll see you tomorrow, or whatever the case is. So I appreciate you guys. Again, I hope to see you guys on Miami Salsa Cruise. That is the last week of February 2026. Visit MiamiSalsaCruise.com. Go ahead, scroll down to the bottom of the page. You're going to be invited to a specific WhatsApp chat group, which is going to give you a discount code on your event ticket.
Yes.
If you haven't already taken advantage of that. Any final words there, sir?
I think we hit it right on the head. I think this episode is different, but it's still pretty interesting.
Brother, I have to all kudos to you, brother, as again you're sharing your journey with us, which is inspiring new topics to be able to share with you. So Beautiful. Thank you so much to all of you, all of our listeners, and we will give you a shout out again next week. We appreciate y'all so much. Andres Fernandez
and Rico here signing out.
205, social or party. Bye-bye.